sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Wow. Okay. So here we are to another episode. So welcome everyone to today's episode. Today, I'm really looking forward to hearing the story of this amazing woman because I reached out to people on social media and I said, listen, if there's anyone out there who wants to share their story, please let me know because I'd love to share my story, your story on my podcast. And, so this lady actually reached out and she actually was amazing because she sent me a little clip and she said, I want you to see what I recently did. And I thought, I wonder what she recently did. And honestly, I applaud her and I applaud every woman, but I'll get her to tell you the story. But in the meantime, I want to introduce you to Sharon, who's a 58-year-old woman. She's currently helping other women in her area. She's from, I believe she's from Townsville herself, if I'm not, in Queensland, Australia. And she's actually currently writing a book. Well, she's a mum, of course. She's a grandmother. So don't make sure you don't write that off because that's an important role in itself. And she actually has been diagnosed. She went through herself with breast cancer. But not only that, she is now in the process of writing a book, Life After Treatment and how she dealt with it. So it'll be called Life After Treatment and How I Dealt with It. Having said all of this, I want to welcome Sharon. So welcome.
Hi, Grace. Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here with you today.
Yeah, it's great. Like I love hearing people's stories because The thing is, like I always say, we all have a story, but of course, in our area, we're narrowing it down because this is our story. Someone else could have been a victim of abuse. Someone could have been a victim of, a burns victim, or someone who had an amputee or something like that. So you got all these different things, but I believe in life we're all our own heroes. But in our case, obviously, we're here to talk about something that's touching so many lives, because it happens to not only to someone's mum, to someone's sister, to someone's girlfriend, to someone's wife, to someone's partner, someone's best friend, things like that. And it really affects a lot of us. But most of all, it affects the person being diagnosed. So I put this podcast together because I wanted to give people an opportunity to say, well, yeah, I've gone through it. Can you still, first of all, I'm still here. And,
That's right.
and cancer does that. Cancer puts a lot of fear into people, and people don't move forward. So if you want to touch on that a bit, Sharon, and just let us know, what you were doing when you were first diagnosed and things like that. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. For me, I just walked out of an extremely stressful job. I couldn't cope with not having any assistance from the hierarchy in that position. So I just quietly picked up my handbag and said, I'm sorry, I'm leaving and I won't be coming back. So I wasn't in a good mental state to begin with. And then 2 weeks later, I went to the doctor because I had found a lump about a month before I walked out of my job, but being so busy. And my lump was flat, and I thought that was really odd, because for some reason in my head, I thought cancer was round. I don't know where I got that, but it was quite a substantial flat lump. So off I went to the doctor, and on the 17th of November, 5:36 in the afternoon, I was diagnosed with a chemo brain's real. I was diagnosed with a invasive ductal carcinoma. So then all my life just literally paused. And as you go through the motions of trying to say the word cancer, my God, I couldn't even say Sharon has cancer. That didn't even enter my life plan anywhere. I come from a large family. Nobody had cancer in that family. So I just then had to face my children, because the doctor said it was a good idea to tell the kids, because they tend to overhear conversations. And, seeing the hurt on my baby's faces was the hardest thing, because as a mum, we protect our kids from hurt. And that still traumatises me today. So we went through all the appointments, and then, of course, the treatment. And I found the treatment, even though it was horrid, I found the clinicians had my back then. So a lot of my supports were there, and I had tremendous supports. But I seemed to, once my last treatment happened, the supports kind of died off a little bit. Like, oh, you're cured now. But I'm sorry, there's no cure for cancer. So I get burning fire in my stomach to think of all those women who go through that. And I strongly believe we all come through with a mental illness, or our mental health is not well, because hearing you have cancer is quite traumatic. So it's also a lonely period. I've never felt so alone in all my life during that period, because no one around me understood how I was feeling or what I needed. I didn't know what I needed.
Yeah.
So we muddle. We tend to muddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's my wish, I don't like passion all the time, but I just, for all those beautiful men and women who come after us, I so desperately don't want them to feel alone, because you go through absolute hell with your treatment, and then bam, you left. And my self-care instructions were to go home, walk 30 minutes a day and have a sugar-free diet.
Mm.
And that was it.
And that was it, yeah.
Yeah. So after I had a massive meltdown in the car park at my oncology centre for my last day of radiation, I come home and I was scared of everything in my house, because to me I felt like my body had been killed off, and now it was almost virginal again, all my cells and things like that. So I was scared of damaging them, because I can't physically check my cells. I can check for lumps, but I can't check for that mutated cell that we all seem to get. So I was like a woman on a mission. I threw away copious amounts of chemicals in my house. I warned everybody with death if they brought anything into the house that I didn't approve. You could go out with it. And kudos to my family. They've had to bear with me for the last couple of years while I sort all this out. But I find the main thing was the loneliness and the lack of support that I had after treatment.
Yeah, it's quite interesting you say that, because I'm hearing that, and in my case, I opted not to have the treatment. I did everything else, but in my case, I weighed my pros and cons. So that was a decision I made for now, and going forward, hopefully it never comes back. But you know what I mean. But I did notice that, once you go out there and you start talking to people and you start saying, oh, what about this and what about that? It's like, well, I'm just here to give you section A, and B, C, D, and E is up to you. And it's like, well, no, it's not, because you guys, I don't want to speak badly of medical, because I love my surgeon. I really do. But I think they're not, I think they've got their medical hat on. Yep. And what happens is they go, well, I'm just specializing in this, so I don't know what's happening here.
Yes.
And what happens is most women come out of it going, well, hang on a minute. And like you said, all of a sudden, everything is no good for you.
Yep.
Yep. All of a sudden it's, that's not good for you. That's not good for you. But based on what? Based on who? Based on when? You know what I mean? These are all things that unless you get educated, you don't know. Like I these groups that I'm part of, the first thing is, I want to heal myself. What do you think I should do? Oh, you should do an alkaline diet.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's like, well, alkaline diets don't work for everyone. It's like, we're all different. So you can't put that on me. And that's why when I say what I do or what I did, I put a disclaimer. That's what I did. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just sharing what I did going forward. But it's quite interesting. So, but going back, so you've obviously had the lump removed, you had a biopsy, had the lump removed.
Yep.
And
chemo.
You opted to have radiation. Is that right? How many
chemo and then radiation? 25.
Okay. Yep. So and that was over a period of how many per month, or every couple of months, or
every day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
Ran out.
Right.
Yep.
So you had the whole lot done. Yeah.
Public holidays, no, because oncology is not open for public. So
you know what? The cancer is smart. It'll just wait.
Yes, it does. And my motivation was prior to my diagnosis, I'd booked a heap of pink tickets for Melbourne. So it didn't matter what they did. That was just my focus. I would say, am I going to be out for pink? Can I get to pink? Can I walk for pink? Can I do this for pink?
Yeah.
So that was really it was like a reward, if you like. But I was so fatigued and so ill. I think I misjudged what I was capable of.
But no one really knows, no one really understands, because when someone says, oh, you have to do, 20 rounds of chemo or 20 rounds of radiation, or you got to do, You know, God forbid, there's women who are doing, 20 rounds of chemo and then 20 rounds of radiation.
Exactly.
And the thing is, I've actually watched my sister-in-law, who I've known her for a very, very long time, and she was diagnosed with, I think it was stage 3 or stage 4. And the thing is, I watched my mum go through it as well. My mum also had chemo, but I remember her talking about, I've got ulcers in my mouth,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh, how come? You know what I mean? It's because the thing is, you don't get not that I spoke to Lucy about this, because she was another lady I spoke to recently, and I said, would you have wanted to know what it was like to have a double mastectomy, like have them show you? And she said no, because it would have scared me. But at the same time, I think knowledge is key as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say is they tell you, yes, have the radiation, yes, have the chemo, this is going to beat your cancer.
Yeah.
But hang on, you're not telling me the before and the after effects and the in between.
Well, my chemo and radiation, they got all my lump and they took 3 nodes, lymph nodes out, and all the margins came back clear. But you have your 4 rounds of chemo and you do your radiation. So I may not have needed to have that. And I believe there is a test out and was available when I was going through my treatment, and they do a test which shows what percentage, I'm trying to think of the right words, sorry. It shows the percentage of whether it would be worthwhile having or not. So if it came back like 80% that you don't need it, well, then that would be my choice if I wanted it. The test, I believe, is $5,000. I went through the public system because the hospital's just around the corner from my house. And if I'd have known about that test, honestly, I would have had it, because
that's interesting.
What you're left with after having that treatment, just the side effects alone, and unless you're in my shoes, I never had that before, and I had cancer. So the cancer didn't make me like that. The medication has. I'm nowhere near the person I was prior to cancer, and that has been a really big stickler for me, because they're using that test down south, I believe, but because we're up here in the bush, we don't always get everything offered, and I'm not doing a pity party. I just feel they keep saying it's your choice, but we don't get all the information. But I am the type of person that if you're going to do something to me, I want to know exactly what you're going to do, how it's going to affect me, what is the poison. So I need to know all the details, because if I don't have an educated amount of information, I can't make an informed decision. And hearing it from non-cancer people really grated on me as well. I would have much rather have heard it from someone who has had it. Just the injection you get in the breast prior so that your nodes pop out for surgery, the nurse was saying, it'll sting a little bit. And I said to her, how do you know? And she said, I said, have you had it? No. So if it's not dangerous for me, why don't you do it to yourself, or have someone do it to you, so then you can actually say to people. And she said, oh, no, just gobsmacked that someone had asked her the question. So that frustrates me, that I couldn't find anyone up here to give me any advice. I did join a cancer group, but it was full of elderly women. And they sort of passed it off like, oh, you'll be okay. But I needed to talk. I needed to just compare. And I know we shouldn't compare, but I just needed to know that the horrid feeling in my mouth was normal. My aches and pains were normal. The amount of times I was going to the toilet was normal, and I just felt really frustrated and sad that wasn't offered somewhere. And they say call the breast care nurses, but I called 11 times and they were busy.
Well, that's the thing too, because like you said, because what happens is, you know, you want to, like you said, you know, you want to be able to get the information, you want to know what you're going to go through. So just explain to people exactly, like when you said, you know, it wasn't such the cancer that hurt me, because obviously cancer doesn't hurt, right?
No.
Physically. I can say it, you can say it. In a
Yeah.
way, you can
Yes.
feel the lump, it feels uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but it's not that it's, I mean, some women, yes, it gets to the point where it's so painful,
Yes.
but unless it's that. But what happens is you don't get told of the, you know, the radiation, how that's going to hurt. So if you
No.
want to actually let people know, like when you say it actually, you know, well, it changed you. What did it do? What did it do physically, mentally, emotionally?
Physically, I'm on hormone blockers now, and the hormone blockers are just horrid. And half of every morning I look at that little tiny pill in my hand and I think, how can you do what you're doing to my body when you're so small? All my joints feel like I have arthritis. I have complete brain fog. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, it's past menopause when you're getting older. No, I wasn't like that before. I don't sleep sometimes. My feet go numb occasionally. I keep falling over, for God's sake. I just don't have balance. My teeth, I've had to replace a lot of my teeth because they were starting to flake. If I hurt my wrist gardening a year ago and it's still sore. So things like that take time. I've developed a cough. I don't know what that's about. That's going to be investigated. I'm a bit nervous about that. I'm slow. It takes me about an hour and a half to wake up of a morning so that I'm partway alert. I'm not normal. And in the last few months, I've actually started to accept who I am. It's taken me over 2 years. And I can now, so I know I'm sluggish of an afternoon, so I get a lot of things done in the morning. So it's just not saying what I can't do anymore, it's how can I do it, you know? So I just get frustrated because I feel like I'm walking in two worlds. My half of me wants to live in my old self and the other half wants to get to know this person because I'm stuck with this person now. My eyesight, that was affected, but mainly just the sore joints. I feel like I have arthritis and one of my Achilles tendon was badly damaged through chemo. Apparently the podiatrist was saying she sees a lot of people that have had chemo with their Achilles tendon damaged. So that was a year working with her so that I could walk properly. So, yeah, just the little things that nag at me. You know, some days I have a great day and other days I've just got to sit. So I'm learning to do that.
What are you taking? What are you on at the moment? Are they the tamoxifen?
No.
Nope. Okay.
I think it's
That's okay. It's just because, you know, I'm just thinking because, you know, certain tablets
starts with an A.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is because obviously but that's okay. That's all right. We just dropped
the same
out.
ingredients.
Sorry, say that again. You just dropped out for a sec. Hello. We're just having some tech issues. So while we try and get Sharon back, you know, the thing is, the reason what Sharon's doing is she's discussing how, you know, these tablets, these medications, because what it is, you know, it's one thing to do the chemo, the radiation and everything, because you want to get rid of that cancer. But it's another thing that you actually find it hard, because what happens is it's the after effect. It's not just the initial, okay, we're getting it operated on, we're getting it removed, we're doing all these things. It's also the after effect of that. So, and that's what I noticed as well with Lucy's story. She was telling us as well that there's also that pain that causes, that, all that discomfort and everything that gets caused when you actually do these tablets, but they don't actually speak about it. No one actually talks about what the issue is. So it's quite interesting to really realize this, because these are things that aren't spoken. These are things that aren't, discussed openly. By the way, doing this, it's going to cause you to feel like that. Like Sharon was explaining, she feels a loss of, she feels tired in the afternoon. She doesn't have the energy. She had to learn how to walk. She's lost her sight. These are all side effects. So just be mindful that when you do get told, by the way, we've done your radiation, you've done your chemo, by the way, you need to be on these tablets for the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever they say. Look at them. Study them, find out the ingredients in there, and really go and do your homework, because that's the thing where we don't realize, is because we don't realize that there's more to it. And the thing is too, and I'm not saying it because I'm not an expert, but I'm hearing it as well. And this is why I didn't take the tamoxifen, and I shared this in my podcast as well, is the reason I didn't take the tamoxifen is because my mother got stage 2, like a secondary cancer from tamoxifen. So when it was offered to me, I said, well, hang on a minute. What are the pros and cons? And in my case, they weighed up the pros were lower than the cons. It was like, well, there's a bigger chance, Grace, of you getting a secondary cancer than, you dying of the first cancer, and I just thought, well, for me, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But, hearing about it, like, Lucia goes to explain what it does to her. Your libido's gone. You don't feel sexy anymore. Your hormones are going all over the place. These are things that you're not getting told. So I really, really urgently tell you that if you are going to go down the medical side, and it's fine to do that, it's your choice, but make sure that when you do that, that you actually are, you're getting all that information. Ask a lot of questions. Do your homework. Ask what's a medication called? Google it. Look at all the side effects. People love writing about all the side. And I know that people like sharing the bad more than the good, but I'm asking you to have a look. So when you do get certain feeling, like you feel a little bit tired, like Sharon was discussing, I'm really sorry because we've just lost Sharon. So I'm hoping that she can jump back on. But, the thing is, like she was saying, if you get told all of these things, at least you are aware of it. Oh, well, this is going to happen. My eyesight's going to get affected. My muscles are going to get affected. All of these things, these are things that you got to truly understand what cancer does, or what the not cancer itself, but what the treatment itself can do. So really do your homework with that, because it's really, really important. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a hold of Sharon, see if she can come back on. She did tell me that she had like really bad internet connection. I know we're in 2021 here, guys, and people have really bad internet connection still in Australia. Isn't that crazy? So so let me just ask her. This is what happens when you go live. Isn't it lovely? But it's all good. So I'll see how she's going. If not, what I'll do is I might wrap it up and we might reschedule this podcast, because I would really like for her to share her story going forward. So I'll just see how we're going. And if not, then I'll definitely, wrap it up and we'll have her on at a later time in the week. So Yeah, but but if you guys have got any questions or concerns, yeah, so there you go, Belinda. So that's what I'm saying. Some medications, it's with all medications, and that's why you should just be mindful when you're doing anything like this, is just really find out about the medication you're going to be on. Like I said, I did my homework. I remember going into the radiologist with a list. It was probably 20 questions. And I did the same with the oncologist. And, for me, the oncologist actually said to me, Grace, I don't have time for you. You need to leave. And it was because I was asking questions like Sharon said, where the lady said, I'm going to put this in you and it's going to give you a little sting. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Have you had it? Have you had that? Oh, here we go. Sharon's back on. I'm going to there you go. So we're back on. So that's okay, Sharon. I was just explaining to everyone, how like you said, be mindful of the medication that you have to take, because there are side effects with them that could actually affect you in the long run. And for me, when they told me about tamoxifen, for me, my mother got a secondary cancer with tamoxifen. So when I went to the doctors and I did the whole pros and cons with them, my pros were lower than my cons. So that's why I decided not to, in my case. Yes. I always say that. Same with my oncologist. When she was telling me what this does, I was having a higher chance of getting a secondary cancer than I was of dying from the first cancer that I had. Yes. So you know what I mean? And I was just explaining that because also Lucy, which I had also said, she lost her sexual drive. This is something that women don't talk about. And
dry vagina.
Well, there you go. So do you want to share that? I do. I want people to understand that we're not here to bag medicine.
Absolutely
or whatever.
not.
We're debunking it. It's not just, okay, so I've done my cancer treatment and no, there's more to it. It changes a whole lot. Like I say to people, this diagnosis back in 2018 is going to be with me to the day I die.
Yes.
It's going to be with me because I'm going to have to get tested. I'm going to have to get checkups. I'm going to have to do, you know what I mean? So it's nothing that, not unless some miracle pill comes out, which I doubt it. I mean, then again, they could find a miracle vaccination for COVID.
That's right.
But that's a different story. But, unless a miracle vaccination or a miracle pill comes out that says, Grace, this is it. You take this, you're never going to get it again.
That's right.
It's going to live with me. So if you want to discuss that as well, I really want you to be, if you're you're up to it, really open up about these things that women should know about having these treatments going forward. All right, I've done the treatments. I've had the operation. I'm doing the tablets. This is from this point on. This is what happens.
Yes. Well, what happens is you have to learn to live with your side effects and work out a way of being able to live. That took me 2 year and a bit years. I kept trying to fight it because you keep getting comments like, oh, I bet you're glad that's all over, or I bet you're glad to get on with life. Well, my life kind of stopped afterwards, and my husband said to me, babe, you have to find somewhere that you can relax somehow. So that's where I went on my additive-free and chemical journey. But then I noticed the side effects, absolutely no libido, none whatsoever. I often think to myself, oh, my God, it could have taken limbs, but leave me at least with that. The word dry vagina gets thrown around the house quite a bit. And, John and I, we come across some, I was doing some research into lubricants and things like that. So we're now going down that journey because I'm only 58. I'm not dead yet. I want my life back. That's been, and then I look at myself. I'm scarred. I'm achy, but I think that's going to be a real difficult one to get back. I just don't have the confidence anymore. But since I've done my nudie show,
yes, and I
feeling
want you
very
to,
confident.
yes, I want you to tell people that, because this is what I mean by sorry to interrupt you, but this is because I'm just so excited for you to share this, because this is what I mean by when I say to people, I didn't allow it to define me. I took it and I went forward with it. And this is what I mean. And look, I mean, I know I'm wearing thermals. I'm sorry, it's cold down here in Melbourne. But I've got goosebumps because I'm so passionate about people saying, F you, cancer. I'm gonna put you under my arm like this phone, like that, and you're coming with me. We're going.
Yep.
I don't care where we're going. We're going. You know, you're not going to sit there and hold it and hang on, let me. No, we're going.
Yes.
And I really want you to share what you did. Because I find it so inspiring, to the point where I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous you got to do this.
It was awesome. I'll do a quick lead up to the show, because it was something totally out of my comfort zone. Last year, COVID, we didn't have a lot of it up here, but it sat us on our bums. We were watching the rest of the country, and I really worked hard last year to get into a good headspace, because I felt I was letting my family in particular with the kids, because I was grumpy all the time and angry. So I got over that. And then I decided, whatever the year 2021 brings, I'm going to step into it. Whatever it puts in my path, I'm going to accept and run with it, because every time I put myself outside my comfort zone, I make amazing connections with either people or experiences. So I wanted to start experiencing things, because I felt I wasn't living. So I just happened to come across this lady, Sophie T. She's an artist in Sydney. She does a lot of art overseas, more so than here at the time, because she got stuck in Australia after COVID. And she paints women's bodies in the most amazing colours and shapes, and they're real people that she paints. She just doesn't make them up. She put a call out for women to send their naked bodies to her to paint, and to her surprise, she got quite a few people, and with those came stories as well. So I believe she paints for the women. That's my interpretation. So I loved her art, and then late last year she did what she calls a nudie show in London, and all these women went to her gallery, got painted naked, just a G-string or a pair of knickers, got painted, and then they walked the streets of London. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I wanted to celebrate getting over my treatment and just reward myself. And I was looking at overseas trips, couldn't do them anymore. I was thinking a walk, no, that's boring. I've never been a person that sticks by the rules. And when I saw that, in my gut, I needed to do that. But it was London, so I thought, that's never going to happen. And there you go. Put it in front of me and I'm going to run. May, she decided she would have another nudie show. So I applied, and you had to answer questions as to your why, what you wanted to get out of it, etc. And my granddaughter was with me, sitting beside me, and I said, I had my finger on the button. I said, what do you think? And she said, do it, Nanny. So we pushed the button, and we kind of forgot. And it was a really nice conversation to have with her, because I'm a plus-size woman, and I wanted her to know that sometimes we feel invisible, and it was to celebrate all that hard work I did to get well. And about a couple of months later, I got an email, and the standard email was, hi, Sharon. Firstly, we're pleased we're happy that you applied. And I thought, oh, that's a Dear John letter. And the next sentence was big capital letters, you have been chosen to be one of our nudies.
Yeah.
I screamed. I screamed. McKenna was sitting beside me and she said, what, Nanny, what? I said, I get to be a nudie. She goes, oh, my God, are you going to do it? I said, hell yes. So then it was preparation for the nudie. I've never done so much self-love in all my life. I've exfoliated, I dyed, I plucked, I shaved, I waxed, had the best time. And honestly, that's something I needed to do.
Yeah.
So did that, went to Sydney, which was totally out of my comfort zone as well. Just, yeah, it was bizarre weekend. And I met 19 other amazing women because there was only 20 of us chosen out of a couple of thousand in Australia.
Wow.
And we were pampered, we were painted, we were splattered. And then we did 2 catwalks in front of about 1,000 people. And then we were given earlier in the day a silk robe that we could walk around and mingle with. No one touched those robes. They stayed in the dressing room, and we're just wandering around completely naked, getting selfies and having chats and being told how fantastic we were. And some of the husbands were saying, I wish my wife would have done something like that. She has no self-confidence. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, ladies, come on. So I'm flying down again in 2 weeks to have dinner.
Yay!
I know, look at me.
That is
I feel very indulgent.
Bring it on.
But it happened so fast, and we were all very teary the next week, just digesting what we had done, because it triggered a lot of emotions. And just to sit with the ladies again over dinner will be absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
So a bit extreme, but worth every single second.
Oh, wow. Like I said, though, it was when you sent me that video, I was like, oh, okay, what has she done here? And I'm watching it. And the more, and the thing is, like, you know, for those that, you know, want to see it, I'll make sure that I put the link of Sophie's link up so you can see it, because I think she's still got it on her IGTV or something.
I think so.
Yeah. So you could see what we're talking about. So, but it was just, to me, it just screamed that. See, the thing is, a lot of women think, oh, okay, I need to be successful. I need to be in corporate. I need to have this. I need to have that to feel empowered. No. That there was that for me, you know, I'm on when I say I'm on a spiritual path, I am on a spiritual path as well. And on a spiritual level, that to me screamed out so much power in women without anything.
Just sitting with those 19.
You're raw. Yes, you've got beautiful paint on you, but you're naked, like you said. You are naked from top to toe, except for your underwear. You're naked, coloured. But it was so powerful that when my husband watched it, he said, wow, look at the power of these women. And I said, that's exactly right. You don't need all the glitz and glamour to feel powerful.
No.
You know, and that's where a lot of women struggle with that, because a lot of women, even going through what we've gone through, you know, there are women who obviously had to have a breast removed. I haven't. I'm blessed. And I believe you haven't.
No.
So, you know what I mean? And things like that. And they don't feel so beautiful anymore. And I think, you know what? You are beautiful. You are beautiful regardless what you have. Don't look at all the glitz and glamour, because guess what? I had the glitz and glamour. It went. I had a 7-figure business that we lost it all 2 days before I was diagnosed. You know, I was driving around the $250,000 cars. I had it all. And then I had nothing. I had the long, luscious hair and all of this and da-da-da-da-da. You know what? Now I wear makeup. Before I used to wear makeup to hide. I had long hair
Yes.
to hide. Now, and in my case, it was bad timing, guys. It really was. And I say that a lot, but it's true. I cut my hair when I got diagnosed, and everyone thought it was because of the cancer, but it wasn't. It was because I had psoriasis. So
Yeah.
I know, bad timing, because you go, oh yeah, oh my God, you cut your hair, yeah. And I just recently got diagnosed, and they go, that's why. It's like, no. So yeah, next time, think, Grace, next time. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, it was liberating. I allowed myself to cut that off. That I actually say the next time I grow my hair, I'm not going to hide behind it. Because now, like you said, you love yourself so much that
I
it's so
think
empowering for women to do this.
I think too, it was a lead up to that point, because I've been doing a lot of work on how to live authentically. And up until this year, I tended to live in the fear-based thinking mode. What will people say? Living to how other people expect me to live. And I just had enough, because it was making me sad. And when I went through all my treatment, the only way I could move forward was I did a life audit. I looked back all through my life. I looked at things that traumatized me, things that caused me stress. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just a stressful marriage for 20 years. My brother was adopted, and that's a beautiful thing. But for a little 6-year-old girl, I was scared someone was going to take our baby, because mum didn't have a big belly like all the other mums in the street. So they must abort him. So all these little things that have been going on in my mind, and I was always known as a highly strung person or an anxious person, when in actual fact now I'm not. So finding out who I was after cancer really shone a light on who I probably was prior to cancer, but it was hidden under all this stress and anxiety.
Yes.
So now I don't care what people think. And walking naked, I was getting comments like, oh, I would never do anything like that. Oh, you must be brave. You know what? There's nothing brave. It was braver having to sit in that chair and get pumped full of poison. That to me was brave and strong.
Yes.
This is just showing the world, this is me. And because it was live streamed throughout the world, I felt like I'd taken off layers of comments, layers of you should do this, you should do that, just layers. And it was me on that stage, and I felt so goddamn proud of myself. I didn't feel anxious all day. The 2 weeks prior to that, I've been doing a course with a mentor, Maurice. He got us to manifest something physical, which I'd never done in my life, and mine was a orange gerbera, because that was one of my dad's favourite flowers. And that week it had rained all week in Townsville, and I wasn't leaving the house. And I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to see a bloody gerbera when I'm not out of the house? And I was getting frustrated. Yeah. I swear to you, I walked into the Warina shopping centre the morning of the nudie show, and right at the door was a big bucket of gerberas, and the orange ones were facing me.
Yeah, unreal.
And I thought, I'm in the right place. Dad is with me, and I'm going to have a blast. Never felt anxious at all. So I really am in the best mental state I've been in for 40 years. I understand myself, and I feel like I'm finally living the way I should be.
Yes. Isn't it crazy? Because we do that, because the way you were expressing how you used to be was very similar to me. It's nurturing, it's people pleasing. And did you have it on the left breast or the right breast?
The left.
Okay. So,
I've been told that's over nurturing.
There's a book here. It's not, it's called, I'm not plugging this book. I don't give any money for it, but it's The Secret Language.
I have that.
You have that?
Yes.
Did you read what the left breast?
I got it after I had, after treatment. I got it only last year, actually.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine in Brisbane, Bernie,
Yep.
she's been assisting me with my writing, and she said, you need to get this book. And even Maurice, he said, it's over-nurturing. Breast cancer is over-nurturing. Stop it. Look after yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's my Bible now. I go to that for everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because just to read the first line, difficult connecting your femininity and receiving love, affection, and kindness. Now, that was me.
Yep.
That was me, hands down. So I was always giving.
Yes.
But I love how you even say it, because look, I could say it till the cows come home, how you have to change. You have to, you like I say to people, you don't change. You just find what you always had.
Exactly.
It just comes out. So it's beautiful to hear that from someone else, to say, now I'm living my authentic self, because I can say it. Everyone's like, oh, but that's you, Grace. That's you. No, when I hear other people say it, I'm like, that's what I'm trying to say, guys.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Go back and look at your life prior to cancer. I haven't met anyone that hasn't either had work stress, life stress, or trauma. Mix it up, and I'm sorry, but we're going to get sick. It may not be breast cancer, but we are going to get sick.
Absolutely.
And last year, I think the world finally sat on its bum and went, I can't do this anymore. And that really opened up my eyes.
Thank you.
We need to get this message out somehow. I don't know how. It's more loneliness for me. I've never felt that lonely in my life. And last year, I used to visit a lady in palliative care, a friend Lisa, and I used to go up and keep her company. She was dying of breast cancer. Secondary, it got into her bones. And she used to say, I'm sick of people saying they love me, but they don't do the actions. And that has stuck in my mind. It doesn't matter what it is you own or what you think you need to own. If you love someone, show them.
Absolutely.
Just do the work to show them, because you can say it 20 times a day and it means shit. So that's my mission this year. First of all, love myself, because I haven't for a long time. That really played a big part on me. Fear-based thinking, I leave that aside. I practice gratitude. I may not write it down, but it's in my head every morning when I wake up. I have my 3 things and why. And I do the 12-step program. Maurice wrote a book, and the book is used that you read the chapter and then you practice it. Then you read the next chapter, practice it. So we've just finished. Absolutely mind-blowing. And just the people that we've worked together through the course with. And it is about connection and making unions. We all live in our little cement houses with our little fences all around. I didn't even know my neighbours. I wouldn't have a clue who they were. So I have to put myself outside my comfort zone, and I find I'm not nervous now. When I go somewhere like today, couldn't wait to get in and see your face and have a chat. But 3 years ago, what? No. So I'm really enjoying life. And ladies, you can enjoy life after cancer. You just really need to love yourself.
Absolutely.
Go back and rewind if you can.
Get rid of the things, like I always say, detox. When I talk about detox, a lot of people are thinking, oh, detox, like don't eat sugar and stuff like. No. Detox means you detox your mind.
Yes.
You detox your environment. You detox your community. And this is a nicer way of saying, get rid of the people that don't do you any good. So it's a nicer way of saying that. Now, when I say to people, don't get rid of people that don't do, I don't say to them, shaft them. I don't say to them, send them off with love. I'm sending you that way because with love, I'm actually going this way and you're going that way. And you know what? I send you so much love because, you know, we're not on the same path anymore. We're going down our different paths, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I say to people, if you happen to sit with someone where you, oh my God, I'm so exhausted after seeing them, they're no good for the soul. They're no good for the energy.
That's right.
You know, and I think I know what people think, oh, woo-woo, all this energy. It is. Okay? It is. And like you said, if you create that and then you keep it and then you suppress it, and then what happens is you suppress some more and then you suppress some more. And like you said earlier, like me, was I surprised I had breast cancer? Oh, yeah. But was I surprised I had breast cancer? No. Right?
Mine was written in stone.
I want, but was I surprised? So when I talk to people, and I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, I've been diagnosed with brain tumor, I've been diagnosed with stomach cancer, I've been diagnosed with pancreas cancer. When I look at their story, it's like, don't tell me. I know the icing on top. I want to know what's underneath. Have you got a latte under there? Have you got a chocolate under there? What have you got under there? Because I really want to go deep down. And when you go deep down, like you said before, my relationship wasn't going so well. I was in a stressful job. All of this stuff. It's like, yes, hallelujah. Yes. COVID, I say to people, COVID for me, for them actually, I actually say to people, you should look at COVID like me telling you you've just been diagnosed with cancer. Because this is your chance to detox.
That's right. Yes.
But people are like, okay, well, you know what? I can't help you. No. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, we still get stressed. We still get scared. Like I've got my, actually today, in a week from today, I have my checkup, my yearly checkup.
Oh, yes.
I'm feeling a little nervous and anxious. That's normal, but I'm not living there. I'm not stopping. I'm not living in my room and things like that. So it's really important, like you said, to empower women to know that you've got this. Yes. You've got this.
Well, I had my checkup a few months ago. It was my 3rd year. Years prior to that, as soon as I walk into the QML, I completely shut down. I would ring my daughter, who she's the only one that can talk me down. She would say, Mum, where are you? What are you doing? Just breathe. And I would be an absolute cot case. And I always had to know immediately before I left. I would wait to find out. My last one, I thanked the fear-based thoughts. I thought, yes, thank you for taking me back to those times where I'm going to absolutely lose my shit and it's probably not going to be good. But you know what? I'm okay today. I can do this myself. So I went up there. I told them my name. I sat down. I had my mother and my husband with me, and John said, are you okay? Everything all right? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I got through that. I had to wait 3 days for my results, and I was as cool as a cucumber. And yet, prior to understanding how my mind works, I would have absolutely not coped at all.
Absolutely.
And it's not all woo-woos. It's scientifically proven that you can change the neuro pathways to your brain by practicing gratitude, mindfulness, and I am absolutely loving myself sick now.
You know, it's oh wow. You know, I'm
going dragon boat
your life.
rowing.
Sorry?
I'm going dragon boat rowing on the weekend and hula
hooping.
There
you go. But the thing is, what I wanted to say was things come into your life, and you've come into my life because I've been drumming this for the last so many episodes that I say to people, it's your mindset. And
absolutely.
It's quite funny how you said it's scientifically proven, because my beautiful surgeon, talking to her one time, she said, Grace, I wish women would change the way they think. I think scientists should look into the mindset. I'm like,
they have.
What have you been living under? So, you know what I mean? But I thought how beautiful. Yeah. But that to me was beautiful, because you're stepping out and realizing there's more to this.
Oh,
This is from a surgeon's point of view, right? Surgeons normally go,
yes.
no, I'm doing this, you know.
Mhm.
But what you're saying resonates with me so much because it's so true. Because like yourself, I had fear. It had me by
Yes.
the throat, had
Yep.
me in the corner. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to end up dying of fear before I die of cancer.
Yes. Yes.
So I had to
Definitely.
go, you know what? So yeah, like yourself, I'm cool. I'm still moving forward. It comes and I go, oh yeah, that's what it does. Fear.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? I don't have time for fear because I'm creating love around me. I don't have time for you,
Exactly.
fear. I'm not
Yeah.
ignoring it. I'm just saying, you know what? Thank you, fear, but I don't have time. Well,
Mm.
actually, I did with Tony Robbins, I did a
Yes.
breakthrough with him with fear that now I talk when
Ah.
I don't get to that point anymore. But it got to the point where I had to talk to fear like it was a person. And I
Yes.
actually said when I was doing it, verbally screaming, you need to pack your bags and you need to get the hell out. You have
Yep.
no room in my life. And I say, you can come and visit me if I'm in a plane that's about to go down, but you
Yep.
ain't going to come and visit me. Not
No.
now. So
And it's a
am I scared?
superpower.
Yes, I'm human. I'm scared. However, I'm not living in fear. I'm not unpacking my bags. So
Yes.
that was a big thing too. You have to change the way you think and really
Yes.
believe that. I didn't, people would say, you need to be strong. You need to have
Oh,
faith. You need to have courage. You know what? What are you saying? What are you actually saying? Because those words weren't resonating resonating, sorry. I always say resonating. They weren't resonating because why? Because I didn't believe it here.
yes, I didn't. They told me at the hospital to practice mindfulness and self-love. I actually had to Google what that meant. And I put it out there on my Facebook page to all my friends and family. What does this mean? Self-love. What is self-love to me? That could have been masturbating. I don't know what self-love is. So, and that's
I
when
love it.
Maurice crossed my path. I learnt about mindfulness, but he presented it in a way that it was scientific as well as unicorns and fairies. But and that the logic part got to me. I thought, oh my God. And then I heard it from an Osher Gunsberg podcast, and I thought, why don't I know about any of this? So then I started my investigations, and then I started putting people who knew about it in front of me, and then I just went with it. And I hear friends now complaining about this and complaining. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are allowing that to happen. My beautiful mum has Alzheimer's and dementia, and the first thing I wanted to do was bring her to me, mother her, have her live with me. But you know what? I don't want to be her carer. I want to be her daughter. So we've set it all up. Now, old Sharon would never have done that. The heartstrings would have just pulled me right away from logic. And now when I see her, I have the best time, So, and I'm doing that now with my kids. The first two, because I've got two in their 30s and two young teens. And the first two, I've only just let them go, Whereas the little two are probably going to benefit from what I've learnt because they can make their decisions as long as they're informed decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that we just have to do that as a human species. We have to get our shit together.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Because the thing is, we're like I said earlier on in the beginning of the podcast, we are all on a journey in life. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey to the destination.
Our contract.
Exactly. Exactly. So the thing is, a lot of people go, oh, when I get that, I'll be happy. Or when I get there, I'll be happy. Or when I do that. No, it's not about that. And the thing is, and I'm sure it happened to you that while you're going through one of, the biggest challenges of your life, well, life doesn't stop throwing curveballs.
No.
It's like, what? You got to keep catching.
Yes.
You got to keep catching. It's like, well, hang on. It's not that life goes, oh, no, Grace. Oh, have you got a challenge? Oh, well, I'll let you. I'll wait. I'll sit. No, it doesn't.
No.
But it's how you know what? I catch it, but I'm going to put it down. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to put it down. I'm not going to look at them. I'm not going to look at these curveballs right now. Right now, I'm looking at this. Then I'll look at that.
Yeah.
Going forward. It's quite interesting how it's important. Like you said, it's important for women to understand that it's not just about the treatment. It's about the before, the after, and the in-between and the after. Because before, like you said, we went through our traumas. Get rid of them. When I say get rid of them, learn with them, heal them, move them on.
I used to live like I had this little voice in the back of my head saying, you could get cancer today. I might mutate your cell today. I was just about insane, absolutely insane with terror. I was living with absolute terror that it's going to come back. But you know what? It might come back. But right now, I need to live the way I want to live. Otherwise, I'm still in my little box like I had been for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I said to John just the other day, I said, babe, I'm so tired. I have to slow down because every day I've got things happening or doing. And he goes, no. You're living.
Yeah.
You're actually living.
Great.
Before you were on the lounge. Now you're living. Yeah. And I thought, oh, my God, he's right. And I'm having a ball. But it's my choice of how I live that. It's the things that I want to do because now I'll just say, no, that doesn't serve me. I don't really want to do that today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's different, isn't it? Because before it was, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this so much. I want to be there for you so badly. Yep. But now it's like, no. I tend to say the word no.
I know, isn't it great?
More than I say yes. Now
it's like a superpower. And I think if only you other women could just realise with a little bit of work, my God, you don't have to juggle like we all have been doing,
Yeah. That's what's important because, even like Lucy's an amazing woman and I think I'm going to do a podcast where, the three of us are on. Lucy's from, it's so funny. Actually, I met Lucy through a mutual friend and she literally lives not even 3 minutes from me. And it was crazy.
True.
I thought you're so close. But she was the same. She's very motivated. She's a strong woman, really strong woman, motivated, gung-ho. She gets what she wants and that. But then it was the other side where she was like, what am I doing? That doesn't make me happy. That doesn't make me happy. This didn't make me happy. And it's like, yes. So absolutely. I know my podcast is for women who have just been diagnosed with breast cancer. But I hope, if someone's listening to this and knows someone who in the family is going through some traumas or going through some hard times, to allow them to find the tools and the resources to learn to deal with that before it gets to this point.
Yes.
Before it gets to where we are now. We're not trying to stop the cycle. We don't have it. We don't have the tools. I don't have the tools. You don't have the tools. You know what I mean? What I do want to do is eventually my purpose in life is for any woman, regardless of age, to be able to do whatever test she wants done if she feels something and not have to pay for it. Because right now, because I was in a high risk because of my mom and my grandmother and all that, MRIs were for free. Anyone else who says, you know what, you've done the mammogram, you've done the ultrasound, but I want an MRI, will have to pay out of pocket. Now, my cancer was picked up on the MRI. So you know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like grateful that I had that because I had not that, it would never have been picked up until a year later, 2 years, who knows when, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's what I'm thinking. That's my ultimate goal. But in the meantime, I just want people to know that you could live with it. You can live through it.
Yes.
And you can better yourself. You can really better yourself.
Exactly. And I don't know what my passion looks like yet. I'm still finding my way. But I just want to educate our support systems, because so often once our treatment's finished, we're just left. So I would like to try and
Oh, we just lost you for a minute there. So we'll just wait till Sharon comes back. But yeah, but that's what we're talking about. It's just, out there's so many amazing tools and resources, but at the same time, we're finding these ourselves. But people in the medical field, we're not sure, and that's something that I would love to speak to my surgeon next week, is because you find that, like Sharon was saying, that you get to the point where you just literally you just literally get to the point where you finish your treatment and then you're on your own. And it's like, well, now what? Now what do I do? Now what's out there for me? And there's not really much out there that can educate us. And that's why, like herself and like my previous guest, they both said the same thing. There's not much out there to educate people. And I think it's really, really important that we should do something like that going forward. So, it's if you guys, we put this together because we really want you guys to really understand what it's like to find your feet, to find yourself, to find who you truly are while you're going through this. We don't want this to override you. We don't want this to, to get you to a point where, you're overwhelmed so much that you don't know where to go, what to do, that you cave in on it, that you allow it to override your mind, your body, your soul. We want you to be able to go through this, to take it, to go forward, to understand, ask questions, I always say, ask a lot of questions about your treatments, ask a lot of questions about your own diagnosis, because breast cancer, if I was to talk about what I was diagnosed with, it'll be different again to every other woman. So it's not the same. So I just really want you guys to understand that, how it's important to make sure that you have all the tools, all the resources. And this is why we put together these podcasts, because I really want to have you guys sit up and take notice that you have the power in your own hands and you can make the right decisions. And don't ever make a decision based on fear, because out there, cancer is, yes, people are dying of cancer, but there's probably more people out there dying of car accidents or, smoke related incidents or drug overdoses or whatever it is than of cancer. So, that's what I really want you guys to truly understand, that that it's not just this and nothing else. Please, I can't put it out there any more than I do. I'm passionate about this. Like Sharon, we're passionate about putting our message out there, making our message, so we can help other women just like you. If you're just being diagnosed, reach out to women that have gone through it. Reach out and you might not find the same woman that's gone through 99% of what you have or your same diagnosis, but there's someone there who's going to relate to you and he's going to help you, to do that. So now I'm just going to see, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up. Sharon's actually got some tech issues. So I'll just let her know. I'll just reschedule with Sharon. So sorry about that, guys. As I said, we just had some tech issues and we lost Sharon. But what we'll do is I'm going to wrap this up, and I will make sure that I reschedule Sharon at a later date. In actual fact, I probably will reschedule Sharon and Lucy, and we can have a here she is. She's back again. So here she comes. Here you come. So I was just going to say that if you couldn't come on, what I was going to do is I was going to wrap it up. But what I might do is I would really love, if you're interested, to have you again on my podcast. And I'll also invite Lucy because, as I said, because you guys are two very amazing women, but you guys have got a message out there. I can see the common message, and it's the system isn't educated enough. It tells you to this point, and then it loses just goes away. So that's something that next week, if I get the chance when I see my surgeon, and I remember, I'm going to probably go, right, I need to ask you, all these questions. So,
Okay.
but yeah, this has been amazing. Have you got anything else you want to share with us?
No, it is about education. I think our system is just operating in reactive, and I think we need to try and operate in a more successful way, because we just keep coming out really damaged, and it's unnecessary, I feel, maybe.
Yeah, I get it. No, I do. I get it, because the thing is, I remember coming across a woman back when I was diagnosed, and she had cancer more than 20 years ago. And she looked at me, and again, I'm not here to say what to do, what not to do.
No.
But she looked at me and she said, radiation really hurt me. And I thought, wow, and then I had another lady that said, the chemo was just really bad. Someone else who, the thing is, like myself and like Lucy, neither one of us did chemo or radiation. However, the tablets she's taking, is really, making an effect on her. So it's not don't just look at the radiation and the chemo, guys. Look at everything. Whether you had to have your breast removed, whether you had to have your lymph nodes removed. There's some women who had to have all their lymph nodes removed, and now they've got an arm that's swollen. It's all of these things, you know what I mean? That is really important, I believe.
I just find too, the conversation needs to be open up. I don't know if we need to have a big forum or something, but some of the scars that I have seen on women, and we're talking breasts, and how many women go through breast enhancements or made smaller. If their doctors had have left them maimed the way our ladies are, holy shit, there would be world complaints from everywhere and court cases. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know why that happens, but God, cancer takes so much from us. And then once your medical stuff is done, you're turfed out and you have to deal with the mental health. And I'm sorry, but I haven't met one woman yet, and I've talked to hundreds overseas as well as Australia, and we are all left
scarred,
mentally scarred.
Yep.
So I just think there has to be a better way of doing it. They say exercise. Yep, sure. That's if you can. you know?
Absolutely.
And we're left to just mop up the side effects, and that frustrates the life out of me, because it shouldn't be like that. And I imagine that's for all cancer people, not just breast cancer.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
So I think more funding needs to go into that area. Yeah. And I swear, if I see another pink ribbon.
You're like me. It's quite, I get it, because, I say this, and again, this is disclaimer. This is me. This is my story. Okay. So I don't want people to, shut me down or shoot me down. When I went and saw my oncologist, I had to go to Peter Mac in Melbourne. Now, my mum went to Peter Mac McAllen Hospital back in the days. My mum had an external cancer around her ear, probably more than 20, 30 years. This was back in the days where my mum had to stay a year in hospital, for radiation back in the days, Now, Peter Mac was like a 3-level little building in the middle of a laneway in Melbourne. Now, I get to Peter Mac in the city, and listen,
5-star
I
motel.
walk, no, 5-star would
Oh.
be average. This thing here, I was sitting on chairs and I was looking around thinking, this is where the money's going.
Yeah. Put it
And
into
that
research.
really, I know from a source, I'm not going to name names or anything for their own privacy. I know someone in research that says don't give money to charity because it doesn't get to us.
I give to Love Your Sister, Samuel Johnson.
Yes.
As much as I can, because I know every cent goes to Garvin. And can I tell you, that man gives hugs like no one else on this earth.
He's amazing. I've seen him. I have seen him. But what I mean by charity, I mean pink ribbon.
Yeah.
All of these things, because unfortunately the money doesn't get to these people in the research department. And this is from someone inside. Now, I'm not saying that they're a cancer researcher, but they actually said they researched that as well.
Yeah.
But they don't get the funding. And, you probably think, well, God, how much can it cost? And he does. Well, I said he, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
It said that when they do one test could cost them anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000.
Yeah.
But he said, but we don't get that. He goes, we actually don't get that at all. And I thought, that's insane to hear it from someone there. I'm not talking from Maya, because I could be just an individual thinking this. But honestly, when I walked into Peter Mac and there's a hotel, and I thought, if you genuinely wanted to help these patients, you would knock on my door, you would hook me up, and you would say, hey, I'm trying to save your life here.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But I just think that, yes, it is trying to save your life. But at the same time, like I said, and I guess, again, don't kill me, don't shoot me. But if you can find a vaccination for COVID in less than 12 months or just over 12 months, how can you not find something for cancer that's been around hundreds of years?
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say to these women is, I'm not saying not to do the medication, whatever.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Exactly.
Do your homework.
Yes. I think the world, you in such a whirlwind when you hear you have breast cancer, that did my head in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And from then on, I put every single bit of trust in those doctors. I didn't even think of researching elsewhere because I was so goddamn gobsmacked.
Mm.
But if it ever comes back, I'm smarter this time.
Yeah, but it's never going to come back, right? We're not going to put it out there. But that's exactly what happened. When I say I was blessed because my doctor, my first surgeon, because I got a second opinion, and I say that, get a second opinion. My first doctor was like, you got to sign here. I have to get your lymph nodes out. And if I can't find all your lymph nodes, I've got to do an auxiliary clearance. I've got to do this. I've got to do this.
Oh,
I've got to do it. And I remember getting my pen going, huh? Okay.
Exactly.
And my husband, being Italian, said to me in Italian, let's think about this. And I remember looking at him like, are you insane?
It's not you, it's my boob.
I went home, and this is why I say this in my podcast, my first or second podcast, I put a dream team together. Now, my dream team was a bunch of people who I trusted. Now, they could have been into holistic, they could have been into Western, they could have been into none. But I needed them there. And what I did was I sat around, and between those 5 people, myself and my husband, you don't have to have a whiteboard, but I said I had a whiteboard, and I went, right, guys, this is what I've been diagnosed with. This is what they're telling me to do. This is where we're at. Okay, Grace, try this. Let's try this. Grace, that's not good for you. It's not good for you. Let's try this. Grace, let's try this. But it wasn't their opinion. It was their research. It was them knowing, their knowledge. Grace, you need to try this. Okay, I'm going to try it. You know what, guys? That ain't going to. I remember getting a juice diet before any of this happened. I was about to go on this grape juice diet, and I thought,
Yes.
oh, I wonder if the grape juice diet will help me. And I remember one of my dream team look at the back of the tablets and said, Grace, this will kill you because it's so high in sugar. And I went, oh, you get what I'm saying? So because your mind is like a bubble, like you said, right? You're like in this bubble world, like what? Huh? You know?
Yeah.
But the people around me said, no, Grace, we're going to be here. And I always say that if you can't find a dream team, reach out.
Yes,
reach
definitely.
Out. There's so many, you know, as much as it's a catch-22 having the internet out there, but it's a blessing as well as it's a curse. But you will find people. You will find a group of people. If someone said, Grace, I only know you from social media, but I want you on my dream team. Oh, I'm here. I'm here. Whatever I can give you, I'm here.
Yes,
because
definitely.
you need that. You need someone to say, hey, at the end of the day, those 6 people said to me, whatever we tell you, you make the final decision.
Yes.
And whatever decision you make, Grace, is the right decision. And I thought that's so true. That's exactly right. But I had an option. You know what I'm saying? I had an option.
Right.
You know, Antonella went stage 4. She went through chemo. But what did she do? She took hemp seed along the way. It helped her. Now, I'm not saying go and do hemp seed, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is if you are going to do Western medicine, there is other alternatives to help you.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do one or the other. I always tell people, if you do holistic, you have Western medicine right beside you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because Western medicine is going to give you the blood tests. It's going to give you the scans. It's going to give you everything you need. You still have beside you. Because don't tell me nothing wrong with holistic people because I work with a lot with holistic. But if a holistic person said to me, oh, I sense you have breast cancer. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go see a surgeon who's going to put an MRI. He's going to give me an MRI. Who's going to give me a mammogram. If that comes back saying yes, then I'll think about it, right? Like I'll look at it.
True. Yeah.
But I'm not going to base it on a feeling. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
I think I talked a lot.
It's quite okay.
Yeah. So, but I really enjoyed today's podcast. I really did. So, if is there anything else you wanted to share? I mean, the book, I want to say that actually. So what's happening with the book?
I took a hiatus because I was discovering my brain a little bit, my mind and how it was working. But I've really got a fire in my belly now. I definitely want to get it finished this year. I said that last year as well, but I want it finished. And now it's the fun part, not so much the fun part, the part where I get to explain how I got to where I am today, which I think is really important for the ladies. But I can visualize it now. I can see the pages. I can smell it. So I'm manifesting like crazy to get that down on paper.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look forward to it, and I'll definitely have you, on my podcast to share that when it gets published, because I would love for people to be able to, to read that. It's really important. Just don't read the medical side of things. Read also a personal point of view as well.
Definitely. I just spent the last couple of years purging, and now I've got to make sense of it all because I needed to get it out of my brain so that I could see exactly where I was at. And I was discovering things about myself and going, holy hell, I didn't realize that happened. Oh God, I didn't realize that. So now I'm just getting it all sorted a lot.
Awesome. And you were saying that you were going to do something, was it this weekend? What were you doing?
Boat rowing.
Boat rowing?
Yes, dragon boat, the great big long boats.
Yes,
I'm going to try that. And another friend of mine, she texted me the other day and said, hey, do you want to go hula hooping with me? And I said, what? I thought, you know what? I'll go hula hooping.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you ever come down to Melbourne, I know we're shut down for about 3 days. Crazy. Yeah, don't even go there. But if you ever come down to Melbourne, what we should do is we should do the market disco. It's a silent market disco, and what it is they say market disco because we have our Victoria Market at night.
Yes.
It's a night
Beautiful.
market, but you actually go through the city with headphones on, and you're all listening to the same music, and you are singing on the top of your lungs, but no one can hear you.
God, that would be
And
awesome.
It's the best. So that seems like, yeah, we'll definitely, if you come down to Melbourne, we'll definitely organise that. I think it's called the Night Disco or something like that. And it's just something that I've always wanted to do as well.
Yeah.
And as I said, and they get to the, at one stage you get to the market and all of a sudden there's people everywhere, because it's a beautiful market. People are eating, enjoying themselves, and then you hear people singing on the top of their lungs, and everyone just turns around thinking, who are those people singing? And there's a group of probably 20 people with headphones on singing from the top of your lungs. And it's
fantastic. I am the karaoke queen when I've had a few to drink, but that's been a long time since I've had a drink, so it'd be great.
Well, there you go. See, this is what I mean. You're living now. You're living. You lived before, you lived through it, and you're living now.
And I wake up of a morning, I do my 3 items of gratitude, and then I think to myself, which Maurice is going to laugh at, I wonder what's going to come across my path today. And I actually look forward to it. Beautiful. Instead of, oh, God, I've got to try and get to the shower.
Yeah.
And I find the aches and pains probably aren't as bad since I've cleared out some of the head stuff. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're awesome.
It's been an absolute honor. It really has. The fact that it blows my mind because I feel, no, honestly, this is truly me being honest. The fact that I feel like you've been in my brain because you think the way I think, I am truly grateful. I really am grateful because I know that my message is not just from me, but it's from everyone. We share the same common message for everyone out there. So on my behalf, I thank you so, so much for allowing me to speak to you. I, for those that want to see it, I'll make sure I put a link for Sophie T, so you can see Sharon in all her glory.
She has seen me in more of my glory than I thought I would ever share with a beautiful young woman.
You know what I mean? But thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I just I'm hoping that any woman that has seen our conversation today doesn't feel alone. Reach out. Do you mind if I say I have another Facebook page?
Go for it.
Breast Cancer Life After Treatment. If you're feeling down and you just want to chat or you just want to feel acknowledged and be seen, feel free to pop on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had just down below, it's Sharon on Facebook. So it's Sharon's Cancer Story on Facebook, or on IG, it's Sharon at Sharon_cancer_story.
Thank you.
So please feel free to reach out to Sharon. I thank you again, and I look forward to doing this again with you.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, and like always, I always say, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I send you all so much love and light. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.